This is it. An expansion for Cyberpunk 2077.
Phantom Liberty. Hi.
It's a cardinal sin nowadays, but consider me hyped. A spy thriller expansion. Idris Elba?
Peace comes at a price. Someone's always got to pay.
Count me right the fuck in.
I'm in. Cyberpunk 2077.
Phantom Liberty.
Now, before we get into the major changes with patch 1.7 Phantom Liberty, I'd like to take a quick look back into my experience with Cyberpunk. Of course, there will be a marker, so you can skip this part if you want to. As someone who is neck deep in the hype of Cyberpunk 2077, and I mean neck, I was watching the same trailers and YouTubers over and over right up until release.
The bottom line is, ladies and gentlemen, this is the real deal. They were not screwing around with those demos. This isn't an Anthem 2017 gameplay type of situation where...
Busted!
I'm making this video to apologize. Because I fucked up.
And despite the outcome, I came out thoroughly enjoying the game. It really is floaty, isn't it?
You don't even have to try crashing at times, it just happens.
My reasoning for liking it is pretty basic. It's probably the reason why I don't normally review games. I just speak into the mic and whatever sticks I throw in the timeline. It was unique, and there wasn't really another game like it. Basically, if the game's got a good story and good music, then gameplay can be second. And Cyberpunk happens to accomplish this. Along with the killer atmosphere, it all just works perfectly together. The first-person cutscenes made emotional moments hit harder.
Oh, you don't need to talk. You did more for her than anyone else.
I had a motive to find her, Judy. You know that.
The music kicked in with motifs that evolved over time. The guitar riff from Never Fade Away is an extremely good example of this.
The guy who saved my life.
V, you don't know how much I want that to be true.
There's also those quiet, serene moments with characters like Judy.
V, looking good.
Pan Am.
On behalf of the staff of the Independent California Motel, I wish you all sweet dreams.
And Carrie.
I'm sorry.
I actually find the game's story pretty realistic, in a weird way. Not everything in real life gets answered. You're sort of on the outside looking in. The world just keeps going on without you. Call me a masochist, but I kind of enjoy it. If you remove the mystery, all you're left with is disappointment. Most of the time. The Perales quest line. You get hired for a job, you do the job, it gets to the climax, and then nothing. It kind of just abruptly ends. And I think that's fine. All that's left afterwards is just a mystery connected with all these different kinds of characters you meet throughout the game. Hell, it even gets the spotlight in the star ending with Mr. Blue Eyes. Cyberpunk 2077 was the first time I wanted to push myself creatively with the game. In a long time. I even went so far to create a machinima reminiscent of the old days of YouTube. Come on, Smasher, we've got fucking Laserface to kill. Hope you brought the grocery list.
This is where the real game begins.
I'm a fire in my laser!
Headshot!
There's gotta be a way out of this.
Johnny, I'm dying. There's nothing can stop that.
The expansion kicks off with V being contacted by Songbird, leading her on a mission to save the NUSA president, Rosalind Myers, after she crashes Space Force One in Dogtown. Wait a minute. That sounds vaguely familiar.
John Carpenter's Escape from New York. Kurt Russell. Lee Van Cleef. Ernest Borgnine. Donald Pleasance. Isaac Hayes.
Attention all Dogtown residents. The President managed to crash her Space Force One into our humble district.
John Carpenter's Escape from New York. The ultimate adventure of escape and survival.
Joking aside, the expansion takes place in a new district called Dogtown that's located in Pacifica. You know that strangely empty spot? Yeah, it's that. Basically the same with Witcher 3 Hearts of Stone. An empty part of the map is filled in with new content. Gameplay changes. There's a lot. A lot more than even I was expecting. Oh, and just to clear the air, some of this stuff is included with patch 1.7, which is separate from Phantom Liberty. Which means that it's, free.
What do I owe you? Nothing. It's for free. Free? Hey! Robbie Rotten! Who did you expect? Sparta Flop?
Pretty much echoing the same with patch 1.5. Patch 1.7, or I believe 2.0 as it's called now, is a complete rework of the game systems. Everything's been touched, changed, and updated. You might call it a relaunch. God, people use that word too much. Police and mercenaries have been reworked, including a more proper 5-star system, which isn't, exactly groundbreaking. Depending on how many stars you have, max stack will start coming after you. However, the most interesting part about it is if you had 5 stars, a mini-boss will spawn in that you'll fight. But the biggest question is, will max stack fly in their AVs to be dropped off, or do they just chase you in cars? Which the police and mercs now do. They will spawn in vehicles and not 5 feet behind you. Oh, and don't worry about annoyingly getting chased just to be blown up. Vehicle combat has been introduced, so now you can fight back. John Wick style with wielding katanas on motorcycles. Or cars straight out of James Bond that have built-in weapons. The built-in weapons automatically track enemies, and you can also manually aim them, which is, again, awesome, but I'm still a bit hesitant on the aiming while driving aspect. Hopefully it doesn't end up being too floaty, difficult to control, weirdly implemented, and or all of the above.
It really is floaty, isn't it? You don't even have to try crashing at times, it just happens.
So the automatic aiming systems is a welcome addition. Just hopefully it's not too much of a crutch. Along with all these additions to enemies, the combat AI has been improved and given more variety, if whatever that means. I can't give too much of an opinion on this because I haven't played it yet. I'm just reiterating what I've seen around on the internet. It does seem that they have added weak points, because when people are aiming down the sights, you can see red squares that you can shoot at. Pedestrian AI, however, are only given bug fixes. I wasn't expecting much to be done with them anyways. Pedestrians in Project Red games usually serve as more of a backdrop than anything else. The skill tree has been reworked once again and new skills have been added in. Skills no longer act as percentage-based buffs, but are instead actual skills that unlock new playstyles. or, aid in that play style you're already play styling. There's also a Relic skill attribute now. That mysterious 6 box that glitches out whenever you hover over it. The Relic tribute brings new skills like finishers, bullet deflections with katanas, and even apparently throwing people. I looked through the trailer a bit more and realized Songbird speaks through the Relic, which is why she is sometimes red and glitchy. Of course, she is a netrunner for the NUSA. A pretty good one. She's also the one that unlocks the Relic skill attribute. So, that's kind of a neat lore-included story idea. But that also means that the Relic is only available through the expansion that you have to buy and not the patch. Oh yeah, clothing has no stats. Yes, you heard that right. Wear whatever you want.
Nice and hard, make it nasty, make it rough. Bite it, scratch it, rub it. I'm your leader, I'm the fucking boss.
Armor and defense ratings are now tied to cyberware. However, it's not all roses. You can't just go tacking on a bunch of shiny new chrome.
Listen, didn't come here for your gonk jokes. Just take my fucking money.
Cyberpsychosis. If you put on too much cyberware, you'll go crazy. But you won't Hulk out like David Martinez did. V's just built different.
I'm built different.
Basically, it's just a bunch of debuffs. Let's say your damage output is tripled, but you'll die in one hit. I really enjoy this change. Seems that builds are going to be a bit more important, and you'll have to more carefully pick and choose what you use. I usually play on very hard, so right now I'm just sizing up my wall, seeing how many more holes it can take. That was a joke. Another new addition is cyberware plays an animation. Just like when you get the grip at Victor's in the beginning. Having no animation never really bothered me, but it's still a welcome addition nonetheless. And the rest of patch 1.7 is pretty typical for an update / expansion, like new weapons, clothes, vehicles, which with built-in weapons, and random events and activities. What do you call it? A Radiant Quest is a care package in Dogtown drops. You can go to it and fight other mercenaries to get whatever's in the care package. There's going to be like a smoke signal showing you where it's at, and if you get there fast enough, you can sneak in and sneak out before anyone else shows up. UI changes are also included, and it pretty much speaks for itself. You can see in the gameplay footage. You also purchase cars from a website instead of, getting bombarded with calls when you're within 5 feet of a car. I do hope that, actually thinking about that, I do hope that they add a fixer option of having to meet the fixer before, they call you. But of course, V's a mercenary, so if they're within the territory and someone needs a job done, they'll call V. I mean, it works both ways, but I think for just gameplay purposes, stop fucking calling. And that's basically the gist of what is to come for Cyberpunk 2077. Still slightly disappointed that we're only getting the one expansion. I really wanted to see the story being continued with the DLC about the Crystal Palace. I don't think this was ever confirmed, but was touted from some old leaked stuff. But hopefully Phantom Liberty knocks it out of the park with its story. And Idris Elba.
The situation's changed. You need to know if you're with me.
Let me know what you think of this in the comments, this type of video. Kind of an impression, throwback, and then overview of a new expansion. I mean, I just have to get the style and just get a template down so it's more easier to write and then piece together, because I've been working on this for weeks. I mean, I probably should have started over because this is my 7th iteration. Maybe if I actually had hands-on impressions, if I actually played the patch itself, I might have more stuff to go on, but for now I'm not gonna guess at things. I'm not gonna do a deep dive of the trailer and say, this is gonna be there, this is gonna be there, because we all know where that led in Cyberpunk's release. So
Come on, got iron in your head. Gotta put it to someone's head. Pull the trigger.